At the start of the 20th century, the automobile was a toy for the affluent. Most models were complex, detailed, handcrafted machinery. Then Henry Ford set out to create and produce a simple, reliable, and affordable car. A car an ordinary worker in America could afford. The result? The Model T and the assembly line. Two innovations that completely changed the manufacturing method forever. Henry Ford had not invented the car, but he made an automobile that was affordable to just about anyone. Most other automobile manufacturers at the time targeted the opulent. Ford created a way to optimize workforce and time to the maximum. Therefore, he was able to cut prices on his products and change automobiles from expensive toys to necessities. First appearing in 1908 with a purchase price of $825 was the famous T model. On its first year, more than 10,000 were produced. After 4 years, the price had dropped to just $575. In 1914, Ford had 48% share of the auto market. The Model T offered no factory options. It was a simple yet sturdy car. The first Model T, produced in 1908, and the last, the 15th million, rolled off the line in 1927. To achieve Ford's goal of a car for the multitude, Ford founded 4 principles: interchangeable parts, continuous flow, division of labor, and reduced wasted effort. Interchangeable parts meant any valve could fit any engine, and any steering wheel could fit any chassis. This resulted in having improved machinery and cutting tools to make the parts. After machines were in place, any laborer could use them, therefore eliminating the use of a skilled craftsman who made parts by hand. Ford got the idea of integrating the assembly line into the production of cars from a meatpacking houses of Chicago he had seen. He moved the car parts to the workers so less time was wasted in moving. He divided the process of assembly into 84 steps. One of the principles was continuous flow. Speed was key. A worker had 6 seconds to complete a task and had to get it done on time every time. Ready or not, the next chassis would be next to the worker in 6 seconds. Supervisors walked, holding stopwatches to make sure production speed was always at a maximum. Workers got around $2.25 a day for 9-hour shifts. It was good money back then, but it was too much to bear for many. Ford's turnover rate was quite high. Moreover, some men simply walked away from the line and quit and looked for another job elsewhere. Hours upon hours of performing the same mindless task was very difficult for the workers to accept. Morale was often low. Also, line work, due to its quick pace and repetitive nature, was dangerous. In 1916, the Ford Highland Park plant recorded almost 200 severed fingers and more than 75,000 cuts, burns, and puncture wounds. To combat the high turnover and boost morale, Henry Ford announced the famous $5 a day wage. It was actually a profit-sharing plan. The bonus wage came with certain obligations which the employees agreed. Nevertheless, Ford's plan doubled typical wages and sent shockwaves through the other car companies. They thought Ford was crazy and would soon go out of business. Ford knew, however, that his new deal would not only lower costs due to decreased turnover, but it would create more buyers of his cars, the employees themselves. More than 15,000 would-be workers showed up to claim the $5 a day jobs, though only 3,000 were needed. Those left outside were angry, and eventually fire hoses were turned on to disperse the crowd. The increased wage plan led to stable workforce. Ford soon produced as many as 8,000 Model Ts in a single day. The price dropped to under $300 for a brand new car. In order to stay competitive, General Motors and other car companies followed suit. Ford did not conceive the concept. He perfected it. Prior to the introduction of the assembly line, cars were individually crafted by teams of skilled workmen, a slow and expensive procedure.
What Ford did by coming up with the idea of the assembly line and using technology to replace manual skill, he figured out a way to not only speed up the process of building cars, but to use people who were semi-skilled, not highly skilled workers.
Procedure. The assembly line reversed the process of automobile manufacturing. Instead of the workers going to the car came to the worker, who performed the same task of assembly repetitively. With the introduction and perfection of the process, Ford was able to reduce the assembly time of a Model T from 12.5 hours to less than 6 hours. Henry Ford had changed the industry forever.